So this Aqueon light that I bought yesterday for that aquarium is a Wi-Fi. It's the bow front with the Aqueon bow front. The bottom row of lights are also Aqueon. That's the bubbles and the lights. Those actually have to be unplugged or left on. The lights, the bubbles are left on. It's a little sideways. The bubbles are left on, and the lights are disconnected to be turned off. The bubbles go into a pump that I got from Amazon that is basically was a $90 100-gallon pump reduced to $19, shipped from Amazon. Right over that Hope sticker, I don't know if you can see, there's a green diamond. It's like a $45 natural diamond hanging there. From outside the window here, actually I have a DeWalt radio that can accompany my new iPhone 15. Scan button. There it is. 94.1. So unfortunately, I was started to tell. I was listening to this DeWalt radio the day that Chester Bennington died. I was at two people there. I was at a place called Cronkite Beach, and I had this radio out there on the beach. And when I got back to the beach, the something similar happened today. I was listening to the radio. It was Live 105, and I walked all the way away. I remember walking away and thinking, I hope someone steals my. It's a DeWalt radio. And when I got back, the battery had basically the channel was blank because the battery basically was the memory. So it has basically two different batteries, a 16-volt DeWalt and then two 2032 batteries that hold the channel. So if you don't know what it is, it's a DeWalt. I bought it at the Best Buy. It's a DeWalt radio. You can have an iPod and all this fun stuff. But anyways, Chester Bennington died that day. I was probably even playing that at the time because he's Live 105 apparently is some sort of an accident. Whether or not it was intentional suicide, I do not know. Very sad. This is a 94.1 KPFA. So I guess the LA Dodgers won the World Series. This light also has lightning mode. So if I flip the switch, it'll change the intensity of the lightning. And then that is cloud mode you see there. So basically I can change the amount of colors. There are basically 5 guppies, 2 large angelfish, 4 neon tetras about the same size. And you can't see it there yet, but there's a shark right there. There. That's my little shark. I got him the other day, so he's growing, but yeah, it's got the champagne supernova effect. So this is the iPhone 15 with the, which is brand new. I just love it. I put a giant white obelisk over there in the corner of the aquarium. I also have a current pump that is specifically for current and flow. So I put it basically in the corner, but sorry, I'm trying to get this level a little straighter. So yeah, I mean, the shark, how big will he get? I don't know. The guppies don't change after that point. That big orange one comes from another tank. And the shark there, he's just in front of that little rainbow you see right there is that shark. So this only has a digital zoom. It should be able to, I'm not very far from the window, but that's it right there. He's eating on the, I've been watching him. He seems to be picking up on pebbles. But you know, there's a frog. I do have 5 African frogs that are, you know, I don't know how to tell the sexes of the frogs, but African frogs do not need air. They don't need to come up for air. They're entirely amphibious or underwater. So yeah, so it's almost. So I don't know if you can hear him there, that voice he's saying, I'm dead. I don't know how long KPFA have been broadcasting, but I'm assuming that some of these radio stations here in the Bay Area have been broadcasting since longer than I've been born, since I was born, so. I also have here, I will zoom into it. That is a lamp, a moon lamp, basically. I'll just take it inside, but that lamp is basically, it's a magnetic moon lamp that revolves on its axis. The moon does not rotate or revolve, but it's a laser printout of the moon. So we'll see here just I can put that on how it's actually KPFA. You listen to it, but for no reason. Also got a nice tripod Amazon that is very easy to use. That's the moon that my cat will sometimes knock over. Hello, Romeo. See the wood in the aquarium there, but It's not very much Aquarium. This is what we can do. Just go up over the moon and then just twist it. It's about as close as I can get to everything with the moon. You know what? I can get a little bit better angle, can't I? It's not so bad. I love it. So then I will put KPFA on inside. I can also change that lamp. Here, the moon lamp, which revolves. There's also a little glass, galaxy glass. So we'll see what happens if I use the remote. Here you go. Just one fader. Cat, I don't want you to knock anything over. So, there. That's I have a new cat, and they're kind of curious that way. So let's see what happens here. If I indoors, Misu. Nice to him. There's your friend, isn't he? Yes, you're a very sweet girl. Misu has claws, Romeo does not. This receiver has something called direct. There's a sound receiver on level 35. 38. I think that's too loud. He says I'm dead. So that subsequently being, I wonder when they made that recording. Sounds like David Bowie. Maybe he is. David Bowie. You know? I want to do is look at the fishes. It's so hard to see them in that crafty light. We've got a really nice professional heater as well. Let's see if that's enough. That's a levitating moon map right there.
One of the best album titles of all time. Press the eject into the tape. Called Farmhouse. Before Farmhouse was an African big charge. Songs and praise album that was full charge. But you see Marie was in there, but it was enough those solo and vocal. That's called Dive Dead Red, or at least that was part of that track from the Performance soundtrack. And the first track came from Mondo Tonic. That's Mike Patton's story into Italian pop, and well, there's other kinds of music on that record, but you know, since that wasn't even anywhere near the scariest stuff that Mike Patton's put out, and we'll hear some more of his output later on. Trying to scare you here on the Halloween show. David Ogilvy, how you doing? And I think we're going to hear from Yeah Yeah Yes now. This is a song called Skeleton.
So that's my creation. My cat is going to knock it over. Oh, there's a cat. And that's Misu. No, that was you. Misu is a black cat and she only has one bell. With my phone number on it. So, got cloud mode intensity, turn that up, and here's lightning mode. That was lightning. That's the Aqueon light. I'm going to do is change the saturation. White. Cool. And there's the lightning. So cloud mode is at, we're going to go 49%. I'm 49. Lightning mode intensity is at 100%. And we're sort of a blue, so you can see this app here. That is the control panel or the control app for this Aquarium light. There on the other side of the moon. Revolving, rotating. I like the wood. You know, there's a lobster in there, but he hides. So again, that's KPFA. I don't know if that's a little tilted. It seems even though I'm here on the level with the tank. Oh, it's tilted. So there's a little galaxy, that glass is a galaxy glass. I think I'm gonna closer to the tank and see what level up. There it is. Just got a better. I mean, it's always hard to tell at these points because gotta eyeball it. So that's laser etched glass. Thank you from Amazon. That is just supposed to be the Galaxy. You know, those are getting pretty affordable. I like the idea of leaving the moon and the galaxy. There we go. So it's crafty. Yeah. Got quite the setup here tonight. There's a froggy, African frogs. That up in the top corner of the screen there is the current generator. It's a little fan, underwater pump that has a good strong propeller on it. You can see the tetras. There's a shark. Yeah, you got a full count going on there. $37 minutes and 1 second. So 30 minutes.
Big finish. You may remember that from the Repo Man movie, The Plugs, the track entitled Real Town. First transmission was before The Plugs' Best Birthday. The Tortoise Head remix. Dr. Crusoe Takes a Trip. Is that long
Alexa,
snapper?
what is the rock word?
Tortoise remix. And set started with skeletons. And yeah. Well, welcome to the encore portion of the show where we clean up the floor and put records away, and we get to hear our 45 RPM single of the week now. It's Fuzz Attack. And after that, we'll hear some more of that Mike Patton, some Mr. Bungle I was promising you. Don't be scared, but yes, it will be scary. And in the meantime, this is Fuzz Attack for the Zombie Girl. Happy Halloween.
Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail,
Roger. Verizon, less price.
all the details at 102jamsSF.com.
Jams better have my money. Attorney advertising. Local counsel. Oakland legal group. Paid active dramatization. Past results not guarantee future results in each case.
As you lay in that hospital bed, start to wonder if it's karma. Like, how could this happen to me? I'm been a good person. Broken leg, broken arm, broken rib, an accident. If you would have just left out 1 minute early, this wouldn't have happened. But it happened. What you know? Who you crying about? What you know? Call it top dog. What you know? Gotta call top dog. Top dollar. It's a big ass check. Man, what's in your phone? It's a big ass check. You always crying. You're about to get paid. You only got a broken leg. Broken arm, and you get paid. Any accident. TopDogLaw.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing.
Honda of Vallejo, your Honda savings store off the 80 corridor. Find service, sales, and selection at Honda of
You can drink that.
So, non si creano mai.
Who's more at fault? Student or the adult? Thursday on ABC
Who's really behind Prop 34? MAGA corporate landlords, trying to silence groups like the National Organization for Women and the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. The LA Times calls Prop 34 a sleazy abuse and wants voters beware. The San Francisco Chronicle calls Prop 34 a cheap political gamesmanship. The San Diego Tribune says it's bad precedent and weaponizes ballot issues. Don't let MAGA take away your voice. Vote no on Prop 34.
If you have to ask why it's important to start your day early, here's your answer.
Buy one, get one for $1 now with Princess Sausage McGriddles and a medium iced coffee is $2.79 all day.
Time and temperature on NBC Bay Area is brought to you by Mancini Sleep World.
Visit Mancini Sleep World for our Black Friday sale. Save big on premium mattresses plus free delivery. Hurry in now or visit us online at sleepworld.com.
Not authorized by affiliate or community co-library. At April at Florida Access. When brief from March 2024, sponsored by Bunny Slam. Community major funding from Aqueon Uber. Chris Larson, Dignity California Service Employees International, SCI New York 2015. Financial disclosures are available at SF.com. This spring, there are limited room far from more tools for crackdown on crime. Voters passed her agenda, and it's already working. Violent crime is down. Property crime is down. She's reduced homelessness and cleared tent containments. Mayor Reed got the city back on track. Vote Mayor Reed by Tuesday, November 5th. The only candidate endorsed by the SF Democratic Party.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Salma Hayek, Pino, and I are hanging out, baby. A dinner time live on Netflix. David Chang.
Very excited to be here. Welcome back. Now, this setup is a lot like we showed Dinner Time Live. Can you explain how Dinner Time Live works? It actually is live.
Yeah, every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I cook for 2 people. You guys are my guests today on your own show. And it's, like I joke, it's like a restaurant for 2 people, most exclusive restaurant in America. It's a fun time.
It's really fun. You do a great job. Is it stressful to cook live?
By special recording, The Lone Ranger. A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty high silver. The Lone Ranger. With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the daring and resourceful masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again. Come on, Silver. Let's go, big fella. I'm Silver. After a long trip from the east, Colonel Hannibal Wade assumed command of Camp Corbin, an army outpost in Dakota Territory. He inspected the camp and reviewed the cavalry regiment stationed there, then summoned all officers to his headquarters tent. His face was dark with anger as he thundered,
Major Bennett, this outfit is a disgrace to the army.
Colonel Wade.
When the men lined up for inspection, their formation looked like a broken down picket fence.
Yes.
And as for discipline,
But, sir.
you were in command until I arrived. How do you account for the unsoldierly appearance and conduct of the troops?
Sir, the weather has been demoralizing.
Weather.
We've had a lot of rain. The parade ground is a sea of mud, and all the tents leak. Furthermore, sir, the men are on short rations.
They'll get better food in quarters after the road has been built.
I've told them that many times, sir. They respond with jeers.
Major, you mean to say you let the men insult you?
It seemed best to let them work off steam.
They'll find they have a different man to deal with now.
Colonel, the truth is some of the men are on the verge of mutiny.
Mutiny?
Yes. Any concerted action and we'd be lost. I've tried to keep the main troublemakers apart by assigning them to different companies. And to keep them from deserting, I've had to disarm and dismount all the men after each drill. As Sergeant McQuaid will tell you.
Well, McQuaid?
It's like the Major says, sir. I keep the arms and horses under guard. No one will desert without a horse and gun in Indian country like this.
That reminds me. General Crook warned me the Chief Spotted Bull and his Sioux tribesmen may jump the reservation at the first opportunity. Now then, Major Bennett, are your scouts keeping watch on the Indians?
Scouts hired by the War Department have quit, sir, because the food was so poor and they had to wait so long for their pay.
Are none of these soldiers capable of scouting?
McQuaid and Master Sergeant Hayes could do it, sir. But with a rebellious regiment on my hands, I've had to keep them in camp.
Then you have no means of knowing what the Indians are doing.
I have 2 volunteers secretly scouting for me, sir. They presented a letter from Colonel Miles. They had been of service to him.
But what's the commotion out there?
Your orderly wants to see you, sir.
Come in, O'Toole. What is it?
About your riding breeches, sir.
Eh?
The bantu arms.
What about them?
They're ruined, sir. Put them on the tent rope to dry and gunpowder chewed the seed out.
Gunpowder? What do you mean?
Gunpowder is the name of a mule, sir. An old mule that's been retired from service, but one that is kept as the regimental mascot.
So a worthless mule ruined my breeches.
Don't blame the mule, sir. He doesn't know any better.
A mascot, eh? Such nonsense. Small wonder there's no discipline here. You say the mule is retired from service?
Yes, sir.
I want that infernal mule destroyed.
Colonel Wade,
Well,
that mule saved the lives of many soldiers. If it had not been for gunpowder, this regiment would have been massacred.
how's that?
It happened some time ago when the regiment was on maneuvers. Indians sneaked close during the night and overpowered the sentry. But the mule was alert and started a commotion that roused the men in time to avert a disaster. Had it not been for gunpowder, the Indians would have cut the throat of every man.
Any mule would have done the same thing. So would the watchdogs.
Sir, the men look on gunpowder as a symbol of good luck.
I have no patience with sentiment and superstition. I'll have the mule destroyed.
If the mule must die, sir, it will be best not to let the men know about it. They might break into open mutiny.
Carry out the orders you see fit. Just make sure the animal dies.
Yes, sir. Sergeant McQuaid, you and Master Sergeant Hayes will take the mule out of camp tonight and execute the colonel's orders secretly.
That night, the moon was bright when the Lone Ranger and Tonto rode across broken country between Camp Corbin and the Indian reservation occupied by Chief Spotted Bull and his Sioux warriors. At the edge of a ravine, they drew rein.
This is a good place to rest our horses, Tonto.
Them plenty tired. We spend long time scouting Indians.
I hope to learn something definite to report to the new commandant at Camp Corbin.
No?
No, but I've heard of him. His name is Colonel Wade.
Think him there now?
Well, he should be. Major Bennett expected him to arrive today.
We tell him Spotted Bull and followers plenty man, cause I'm short of food.
Major Bennett knows that, Tonto. The government promised the Indians food, but because of transportation problems, the promises have been broken.
Maybe trouble will come soon.
I hope not. If Spotted Bull's warriors get out of hand, the whole Northwest might be in danger.
You must have it. Look, 2 men right into the ravine.
Troopers. And they're leading a mule.
It looked like the mule we see in Camp Quarter.
The mascot. Oh, I think that is the same mule. It's distinctively light in color.
Then stop. We wonder why they're bringing mule here.
I don't know. But I'm going to the floor of the ravine and find out.
We go.
Leading their horses, the Lone Ranger and Tonto make their way cautiously down the steep 20-foot-high wall of the ravine. Then, concealed by underbrush, walked along the floor of the ravine toward the dismounted troopers and the army mule. Sergeants Hayes and McQuaid stood close to the doomed animal.
Hayes, the poor varmint looks like he knows what's coming.
Yeah. Damn, Bandit gunfighter. Why'd you have to chew up the colonel's fancy britches?
Oh, it wasn't Gunpowder's fault. He didn't know any better.
McQuaid, when the boys miss a mule, they'll start asking questions. It's likely to be trouble.
I know it. And if the boys find out we shot the critter, they'll lynch us.
Or shoot us in the back at the first opportunity.
That's right. And the fact that we carried out the colonel's orders won't make a bit of difference.
Not a bit. Hey, why don't we just turn Gunfighter loose?
Oh, he'd go right back to camp. Then the new colonel would give us a drumhead court-martial for disobeying orders. Well, I hate to do this, Gunpowder.
You think it's the way he's eyeing your pistol.
Yeah, now, orders are orders, Gunpowder. I'm a soldier. You savvy that? Well, here goes.
Don't shoot that mule.
Huh?
Masked man.
An Indian.
Oh, we're not outlaws.
Whoever you are, you're meddling in army business.
Sergeant McQuaid, we overheard your conversation.
Then you know I'm acting on orders, so go on about your business.
There may be serious consequences if you carry out those orders.
You tell that to Colonel Wade.
He doesn't understand the type of men in his command.
Mister, don't interfere. I'm going to shoot.
Oh, you're not.
Let go.
You meddling? You not interfere. Let go.
Drop that gun, McQuaid.
Let go my wrist, hear me?
Tonto leaped at Hayes and kept him out of the scuffle between the Lone Ranger and McQuaid. The masked man held McQuaid's gun hand in a grip of steel and twisted the wrist with increasing pressure.
Must I break your arm before you drop the gun?
Oh, I dropped it.
Good. Now, how about you, Sergeant Hayes?
Your Indian partner saw that my gun stayed in the whole set.
Oh, who are you, mister? Why are you interfering with us?
Todd and I are the men who volunteered to scout for Major Bennett.
Yeah? And you wearing a mask?
Yes.
The Major said you had a letter from Colonel Miles. I reckon you must be all right.
Thanks.
Mind if I pick up my gun?
Do you still intend to shoot the mule?
I don't want to do it, but, well, if Colonel Wade sees the critter again, Hayes and I'll be court-martialed.
Todd and I'll take gunpowder off your hand.
What do you do with it?
I know of a cave a few miles south of here. We'll tie him there temporarily and see that he has forage and water. Later, we may be able to find a home for him.
Hey, that'll be fine. What do you say, Hayes? Suits me. Then it's a deal.
Pick up your gun.
Right.
Give me Bobby. Me can get horses.
Yes, Tonto. I'll wait here with gunpowder.
Hayes, we may as well ride back to camp and report that we got rid of the mule.
Yeah. We won't say how we got rid of him. Adios, mister.
Adios.
Goodbye, gunpowder.
Get up.
Meanwhile, O'Toole, the orderly who heard Colonel Wade sentence the mule to death, had spread word to the soldiers in his camp. With the news, the smoldering resentment of the troopers flamed into fury. Private Bill Thorpe, formerly a Confederate captain, said,
Quiet, man, quiet.
The officers may hear this. Killing that poor mule after the way he saved the regiment is a rotten deal.
We're all getting a rotten deal. Half starved and cold and wet most of the time.
If I had a horse and gun, I'd desert.
Me too.
A lot of us would do the same, and the officers know it. That's why they keep the guns and horses under guard at night.
We ought to drag the colonel out of his tent and hang him.
Now, wait, listen. There's a better way of evening the score.
How's that, Bill?
Spread the word for all the men to stay in their tents and refuse to answer bugle calls and orders.
That's mutiny. Shoot us.
They wouldn't dare shoot every man in the regiment.
Bill's right. The colonel will report a mutiny. There'll probably be a congressional investigation.
Maybe it'll result in better treatment for the men on outposts like this.
I'm with you, Bill.
I've heard other men talking mutiny.
And so have I. When they hear about gunpowder, it'll be the last straw.
We'll have to visit every tent in camp.
We'll do it. Tomorrow morning, not a man lands when reveille and assembly are sounded. The murderer of gunpowder will find himself a colonel without a regiment.
Shortly after reveille the following morning, Colonel Wade sat in his headquarters tent with Major Bennett. The Major was looking past the open tent flap, while the Colonel spoke.
That mule incident will show the men that I'm no sentimental weakling. I tell you, Major, it doesn't pay to pamper soldiers.
You may be right, sir.
I know I'm right.
Here comes Sergeant McQuaid with his morning report.
Well, McQuaid, all the men present accounted for?
I don't know, sir.
You don't know?
No, sir. There was no roll call this morning. Not a man was present.
You mean they deserted in a body?
No, sir. They'd heard about their mascot, gunpowder. They're staying in their tents.
It's mutiny. Major Bennett, muster all officers and non-coms. Then drive the mutineers into the open.
But, sir...
Line the Gatling guns on the tents. Give the scoundrels 1 minute to present themselves. And if they refuse, open fire.
Colonel, we can't...
The laws of war provide...
Yes, sir. For all the Indian fighting in the West, no state of war has been declared. The laws of war do not apply.
Yes, you may be right.
Sir, General Custer shot some unarmed soldiers he called deserters and mutineers. For it, he was court-martialed.
But, what do you suggest, Major?
We've stored all food supplies in the magazine where we've already locked the enlisted men's arms. With Gatling guns, the officers can hold the magazine against any attempt to storm it. If we're attacked, we'll then be justified in shooting.
That's a good idea. In a day or two, those rebels will be starved into submission. Put your plan into operation at once.
The Lone Ranger and Tonto, after leaving the mules secure in a cave, had ridden at daybreak to the top of a cliff overlooking Spotted Bull's reservation. They observed small bands of warriors riding by devious routes to the same ravine where the Lone Ranger and Tonto had met McQuaid and Hayes. After watching for some time through his binoculars, the masked man said,
Tonto, they're sneaking off the reservation and massing in the ravine.
Not let them get close to Army camp. Not be seen by guards.
Yes, they're wearing war paint. They've tied the tail to their ponies.
That means them on warpath. Maybe attack Camp Corbin.
Not enough of them to overpower the regiment.
Spotted Bull plenty smart. Him only fight when him sure him win.
Whatever the Indians' plans are, the colonel must be warned in time to issue weapons to the soldiers. Steady, soldier, easy.
Indians got us cut off from Army camp.
We'll take the longer route past the cave where we left the mule. Come on, Silver.
Get off, stop.
The Lone Ranger and Tonto rode away from the top of the cliff, then turned south and raced through rugged hilly country.
Come on, Silver.
Stop! They dashed past the cave where they had tethered the army mule and continued on the roundabout route that would take them to Camp Corbin without being seen by the Indians gathering in the ravine. In camp, Private Thorpe, representing the soldiers, stood in the headquarters tent, facing the irate commandant, who sat behind his desk. Colonel Wade was saying,
Look, you and the others are making a great mistake. Without guns and horses, you're helpless. Without food, you'll starve.
Maybe so.
Moreover, you've nothing to gain by this mutiny. Every one of you will be punished in
Colonel Wade, these are the scouts I mentioned.
Scouts? Major Bennett, you didn't tell me that one of them is a masked outlaw?
I'm not an outlaw, sir. This letter from Colonel Miles may explain my mask.
While the colonel read the letter of identification, Major Bennett briefly told the Lone Ranger and Tonto about the mutinous behavior of the soldiers.
It's been brewing for a long time. The men have had to tolerate a lot of hardships, and they might have continued to do so. But the killing of their lucky mascot was the last straw. Isn't that the situation, Thorpe?
Yes, sir. The treatment of gunpowder showed how little sympathy and understanding old soldiers can expect from men like Colonel Wade.
That's enough, Thorpe.
Well, sir.
Yes, Colonel Wade?
Now that I know who you are, I apologize for calling you an outlaw.
That's all right, sir. I came here to report that Spotted Bull and his followers have left the reservation, and they're wearing war paint.
What? At a time like this?
They must have learned about your situation. Decided this is the time to make their move.
How could they learn so quickly about the mutiny?
They have scouts, sir.
Where are the Indians?
They're hiding in a ravine within easy striking distance. Now, their actions indicate they plan to attack tonight.
Private Thorpe, give the men that information. Tell them I'll overlook the mutiny. There'll be neither punishment nor prejudice if they'll return at once to duty.
I can tell you now, sir, they'll refuse.
Confound, what do they expect me to do? I can't bring that mule back to life. I can't arm the men on mutiny. If the Indians attack while we're defenseless, we'll all be massacred.
An attack might give the men the chance they need. Maybe they'll storm the magazine and help themselves to the food, guns, and horses they need to desert.
What kind of soldiers have we here?
They're a hard lot, sir. Some are renegades, many are immigrants with no reason to feel loyal or patriotic.
Tonto, I want to speak to you. Step outside the tent with me, will you?
I'm sure. Sit down.
Yes, sir.
Find some way to defend this camp.
In front of the headquarters tent, the Lone Ranger and Tonto stood near Scout and Silver. The masked man said,
Tonto, I have a plan that may save the camp.
How me help?
Ride to that cave where we left the army mule.
While the Lone Ranger outlined his plan, Tonto listened carefully. When the masked man had finished, the Indian mounted his paint horse.
Easy, fella. Get him up. Come.
As Tonto rode away, the Lone Ranger rejoined the men in the headquarters tent.
Did I hear Tonto leave?
Yes, Major Bennett. He's going on a special mission.
During the afternoon, despite Private Thorpe's talks with the mutineers and meetings with the officers, the deadlock remained unbroken. Sunset found the soldiers lounging near their tents, while a short distance away, Colonel Wade, Major Bennett, the Lone Ranger, and Sergeants McQuaid and Hayes stood near the headquarters tent.
7-6. Soon it will be dark. Then we can look for the attack at any moment.
That's right, Colonel.
Are Captain Larkin and the other officers still guarding the magazine?
Yes, they're guarding it with Gatling guns.
We'd better destroy the magazine so neither the Indians nor the mutineers can seize the guns and ammunition.
Yes.
Look over there.
Looks like an Indian riding back and forth.
I'll put my binoculars on.
Sometimes one Indian rides back and forth like that before an attack. It's a gesture of defiance.
He's dressed like a Sioux.
I haven't my field glasses. Is that a horse he's leading, Major?
No, sir, it's a mule. It looks like gunpowder.
It is gunpowder.
But I...
The mule's being led by Tonto, disguised as a Sioux.
And the mule snuffed it.
No, sir.
McQuaid, Hayes. You shoot the mule?
Well, sir, we met the masked man.
The fact is, Colonel Wade, the army mule's alive. And if the soldiers think it's been captured by Indians, they might be eager to ride to the rescue of their mascot.
Yes, I understand.
That Indian's closer now.
Hey! That looks like our mule!
May I speak to the men, Colonel?
Yes, do so.
Men, all of you, now listen to me. Private Thorpe, tell the men gunpowder's alive. He's out there, led by that Indian who's making gestures of defiance.
How does Sioux get our mule?
No time to explain now.
We gotta rescue gunpowder!
As soon as you start toward that Indian, he'll race to the ravine with the mule. You'll have to fight a lot of Indians there.
With guns and horses, we'll fight him!
Bill, listen to me. That Indian dares you to try to take away from the Indians your good luck mascot.
With guns and horses, we'll get him back!
If you do, I'll see that he's accorded the best treatment a mule can receive.
All right, that'll end the mutiny, Colonel. Just issue guns and horses, sir.
Sergeants McQuaid and Hayes, stand by the issue arms.
Yes, sir.
Minutes later, the regiment was under arms and in the saddle. As quietly as possible, the double line of troopers rode out of the camp. Tonto, posing as a Sioux tribesman and leading the mule, waved defiantly at the oncoming troopers, led by the colonel and the Lone Ranger.
Get him up, Scout.
Then, keeping out of bullet range, headed his dust-covered horse and the mule into a dry wash that led between hills to the hidden ravine. Tonto, cut off from the sight of the troopers, quickly turned into dense brush that lined the dry wash and drew rein.
Oh, Scout. Hold on. Hold on.
The dense brush in the dry wash concealed the army mule, Tonto's horse, and Tonto, as the Lone Ranger led the column past.
The ravine's not far ahead, Colonel.
In the ravine, the Indians were dismounted while awaiting darkness that would cover their attack on Camp Corbin. They heard the approaching horses, but by the time they realized the truth, it was too late to prepare for battle. The hard-riding troopers rounded a bend and swept into view, and the masked man leading shouted,
There they are!
Open fire!
Many savages were shot before they could reach their ponies. Others were shot as they tried to flee from the superior fighting force. came to grips.
This is for you.
Chief dropped on a smashing blow to the jaw. After that, the fight ended quickly. After the battle, while the wounded men were being treated and the prisoners tied, the men in the ravine heard a familiar bray. They saw Tonto riding toward them, leading the army mule. The Lone Ranger smiled as he saw the expressions on the faces of Sergeant McQuaid and Hayes. It was Hayes who spoke to the colonel.
Alexa, volume level
That is
10.
quite nice, sir. You and McQuaid were told to destroy that mule.
Yes, sir, but we,
All right.
Alexa, play Elon Musk, Audible.
Resuming Elon Musk from Audible. There's about 10 minutes left in this chapter and about 4 hours. 56 minutes left in this book.
Gunpowder.
Ambrose, the vice president of engineering, also shared Musk's remorse. Probably the biggest regret the whole time I worked with him was that he had made a deal with the devil, with more Davido. Ambrose was a former employee at Silicon Graphics Incorporated, and he was one of the most talented engineers they had. With his connections and the promise of internet riches, Ambrose managed to steal SGI's best guys, much to Musk's delight. His delight turned to anguish fast when the new team of engineers started rewriting his software. Musk was good at coding, but he was not a professional. The new team managed to shrink down the endless lines of code and bring some structure to the software. They also generated real deadlines, while Musk had a very arbitrary way of seeing and calculating how much time it would take him to get something done. Ambrose explained to Ashley Vance how Elon worked with time. If you asked Elon how long it would take to do something, there was never anything in his mind that would take more than an hour. We came to interpret an hour as really taking a day or two, and if Elon ever did say something would take a day, we allowed for a week or 2 weeks. When Elon did not agree with something that the engineers did, he would just go and change it when they left, as he would often be the one to work late hours, which caused some friction. He still remembers those days, and what he thought at that time. Yeah, we had some very good software engineers at SIP too, but I mean, I could code way better than them, and I'd just go in and fix their fucking code. I would be frustrated waiting for their stuff, so I'm going to go and fix your code, and now it runs 5 times faster, you idiot. There was one guy who wrote a quantum mechanics equation, the quantum probability on the board, and he got it wrong. I'm like, how can you write that? Then I corrected it for him. He hated me after that. Eventually, I realized, okay, I might have fixed that thing, but now I've made the person unproductive. It just wasn't a good way to go about things. Obviously, Elon was not the greatest team player, but according to Justine, he tried to temper his character as best.
Stop. Alexa, play Artemis Audible.
Resuming Artemis from Audible. There's about 5 minutes left in this chapter and about 5 hours. 14 minutes left in this book.
Well, he's probably figured out my plan. The posse was guarding all the Artemis airlocks. But had they thought to guard the one at the visitor center? Even if they had, they couldn't beat me there. This was the first train. The trip took 40 minutes, as usual. I managed